Welcome to Mnemonic Computer Solutions phishing training. In this course, we're going to cover what is a phishing email, types of phishing attacks, examples of phishing attacks, skill enhancements, and protection systems. Let's define phishing. Phishing email messages, websites, text, or phone calls are designed to steal money or sensitive data. Criminals can do this by installing malicious software on your computer, tricking you into giving them sensitive information, or outright stealing personal information off your computer. How do they do this? They can call you pretending to be somebody else, text you with a link. You could be on a browser and go to a bad link, and your browser hasn't been updated. You don't have protection like a good antivirus or EDRs these days, and maybe you're on a social network and oversharing information with your phone, your date of birth, favorite books, your kids' names, and all that stuff. So they can gather all this information and try to create a tactic to attack you. So let's define some of these phishing tactics that they use. Social engineering. This is how they accumulate their data about you. Maybe they're pulling it off a staff list of the main site, company site. Many of the social media profiles can include information such as your name, date of birth, location, workspace, job title, interest, hobbies, skills, your relationship status, telephone number, email address, your favorite food, favorite books. This and potential information of the dark web is everything a cybercriminal needs to fool you into thinking that the message or email is legit. They've formed an identity about you, and they're basically adding to it. So you want to share as little as you can about yourself and actually lie. The next method is link manipulation. So what do? Most phishing methods use some form of deception designed to make the link in an email appear to belong to the organization. So let's say you get an email from Amazon, but Amazon is AMZON. It's usually redirected, misspelled. Many email programs will show the actual link if you hover over the mouse over the link, or you can just highlight it, copy, and paste it in a notepad or Microsoft Word and examine it. Then there's spear phishing. This is when it's directed at an individual or a company. They've done their social engineering network, research work, and have enough information to make that email appear from a trusted source. This is one of the most successful ones because it appears to be more legitimate, it feels real, and the user usually doesn't question it as much. Then we have clone phishing, a phishing attack whereby a legitimate and previously delivered email containing an attachment or a link has had its contents and recipient addresses taken and used to create an almost identical or cloned email. The attachment or link within the email is replaced with a malicious version and sent from an email address spoofed or appears to come from an original sender. So basically, they take an email maybe from Amazon, from PayPal, from DocuSign, alter it in such a way that it appears real by cloning it. That's the altering. And then the altering is having the links changed to point to them. So they might make a website that looks like DocuSign, and the link points to it, and the email looks real. Voice phishing. Voice phishing is basically them calling you. They're using social engineering over the telephone to gain access to your personal information, sometimes referred to as vishing. Voice phishing is typically used to steal credit card numbers or other information. But they could also be calling you and saying, your computer is infected, we want to connect, we're calling from Microsoft. They might give you some information that you might relate to being real and then fall for the trick. Then you have smishing. Smishing comes from SMS. SMS means short message service. So it's just the SMS text that you get. These texts, they usually send you a link. It could say, hey, we tried to deliver a package from eBay, didn't get through. It could be Amazon, it could be your bank code. You need to click on this to renew your security passwords, something like that. Again, the objective is to have you fall for a link that's been embedded or redirected to some malicious website. Whenever you get anything, the trick here is to always log into the website on your own computer with the website that you know, the passwords that you know, and check to see if there's any messages, any verifications, or anything there. You don't want to rely on these. Even if it's real, I would advise to always do that if you're not sure in any way. I wanted to expand a little bit on the social engineering part. Not all the tactics are commonly used, but it's still important to know, especially for like office admins and such. Your social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, whatever you use, X, sorry, has your birthday, interests, likes, membership, comments, posts. Data harvesting allows the hacker to build up a database on you for targeting, such as faking an email from your supervisor or store you shopped at. We already discussed this. Someone off the street might ask you for a Wi-Fi password or use your computer for a second. Never allow that. This is a tactic. A USB flash drive was found just laying around. Throw it away. That's another old tactic. A text alert comes in about a visit by some vendor saying, Spectrum is about to come by and you were not expecting it. Don't let them in until you call the vendor and confirm that this visit was legitimate and verified. Those are the tactics they use to maybe plan something in the office, to get on the network, to basically get access to your Wi-Fi so they can come after hours and sit at their leisure and do whatever they want. Just never allow that. Always have a secure Wi-Fi for guests, and it's separated from the network, which we do for all our clients. And that way, if they do try to get on, they can't cross over to the actual network. So let's start off with a spear phishing example. In this email, I've blurred out the information. I don't want the company name to appear, but let's call this Acme. Let's say all these samples I'm going to show you is from Acme. You work for Acme and they're sending to acme.org. So you get an email from noreply@acme.org and you think, okay, it's my company sending it. But if you look, most of the time these days, you'll actually see the real email. So it was really coming from info@combase.com.australia, and the subject matter is made urgent, password reset, asking you to reset the password with the current reset. If you hover over this, you'll notice that the domain name is actually panomeda.com. They put some long link, but anything before .com, .org, .gov, it depends which one they use, shows you the actual domain name, and this is fake. They're gonna use better logos than this one. This is an older one, but you'll know what I'm talking about. As far as showing you what a link hovering looks like, this is an actual email that came to me. If I hover over it, you'll see it's acting like it's coming from DocuSign, but it's from dripmail3.com. So that's the malicious website. That's what they're using to send. That's what they're trying to redirect me to. In this example, you have Microsoft 365 Basic is expired. So who is sending this? It makes it look like Exchange, but you can see from the email address, this is not from Microsoft. If the subscription is expiring, why is it coming from this place? But they knew that the user had some sort of a Microsoft license. So what they're trying to do is redirect you to their site to take your credit card information. The link here shows you, if you hover over it, you'll see it goes to this contitekin.com.br. They even use the nicer Microsoft logo on the bottom. Again, they're much better than this these days. Not all of them, but most of them. So the ingredients are exactly the same. A sense of urgency, a fake email address, a fake link, and some logos. Now let's get into clone phishing. Clone phishing is very much like spear ones, but usually from firms like PayPal, Amazon, DocuSign, things like that. So here they've done a great job on copying the logo Fear tactic, again, this tactic is used across the board, so it doesn't matter. We used a new policy of ours to protect both of the buyer. So, what are they asking here? So it says payments have been made in your account. The money has been transferred. So fear tactic to start getting you like, oh, I didn't do anything with PayPal. And they give you some email address. In this case, they didn't share at PayPal because they want you to contact them. The thing is, they might actually include a real PayPal phone number or email just to trick you, but the action they want you to take usually points to them, even if they share a real PayPal email, because they know you're not going to be contacting that. They're telling you where to go, who to contact, and that is usually the trick. So be careful of these. In this case, is a fake Amazon one. Again, this is an older one, but they look better these days. Amazon billing. If you mousing over the map, Amazon billing reveals that this email was sent from iCloud.com from this user. The Amazon one usually say, hey, you bought something and you're like, I didn't buy this, shipment total. So you try to contact them. So in this case, if you know, the action is what? Is to call this number, which is not Amazon. Again, remember, with anything that you're not sure, you always find the real number online, and then you call them, or you go to your actual account and you check through there. This one is from Walmart, but coming from Gmail. Some order confirmation that someone never ordered. Fake links across the board. But they put that's the real domain, but they put the word Walmart here just to make you think like, oh, it really is a Walmart link, but it's not. This is the real domain. That's just part of something else. .com percentage, so that's not .com or slash. A real watermark link to trick the user. So this link is real. If you download the image, it will show you the image, but that doesn't mean anything. The action is to take you to this link. They're redirecting you, they're manipulating you to go to this link. We started seeing these types of emails last year where they're using QR codes to send some form of a phishing email so that you can scan it with your phone. This email has got problems across the board. It's DHL, but Trade Express, International Trade News, but you got a package. That is pretty easy to identify, but I'm sure there'll be others that won't be as easy. Then it comes from service at something here, .com, which is not DHL. I wasn't waiting a package, especially from DHL. I'm not going to be scanning any QR codes. You might even get mail, which I've heard you can get through Amazon, that says, hey, scan this QR code and you win a prize. You got to be careful with all that. Don't scan any QR code that you're not expecting or trust. There'll be, again, other methods they'll try to get you, but this is one that I thought is going to get popular, but it hasn't as much. An important subtopic that wasn't in the guideline is something called spoofed emails. Spoofed emails are like somebody else going to the post office and sending you a letter or sending somebody else a letter, but using your address as a return address. This one says admin at American Express. You would think it's really from American Express because they're trying to spoof that. If it did say that and I hit reply, I would see this address. So a trick to finding out if it's really coming from the same person is if you hit the reply and double check the email address, not the name. The way they get through is by using the name. So it could be a friend, it could be John Doe, Jane Doe, it doesn't matter. It's the email address you have to pay attention to. Don't rely on the name. When you hit reply, you'll see the real email address. If you're not sure and he has something to click on, I would just beware based on all the stuff that we've learned. But always double check the email address, especially on important emails. If your browser is kept up to date, the built-in protection can sometimes protect you against links. So if you accidentally do click on a link and see something like this, that will tell you, go back, don't go to this link. It doesn't happen all the time, but just as a way of protection, it's extremely useful. We use programs like Cisco Umbrella that actually does this for you. But this is why it's important to keep everything up to date so that they can always work together. Here's a couple of examples of text phishing, smishing as they call it. We've all received these. They give you some sort of information about something, and then here in this case $130 freebie to entice you with a gift. Then they give you some weird link to click on. In this case, the actual site, actually what is the account frozen? So that's the sense of urgency, unusual activity. Then they go to give you a site to go in. Again, if you do have a US bank and you get something like this, log into the US bank. Don't use this link. Urgency is used across the board, whether it's email, whether it's phone, whether it's texting, because they know if you rush, you're more likely to make a mistake. I don't want to make you all paranoid about every email, because it does happen, unfortunately. So, here's an example of a real email. This came from UPS. The email address looks good. The link, when I hover over it, said ups.com, so I know this is real. It's not ups.com in here, but actually here. Let's look at another one. In this case, I actually double-clicked on the email address. In this example, I double-clicked on it just to double-check, and it does resolve to ups.com. So that's a good sign. So let's see if we can enhance your skills a little bit based on the stuff that we just reviewed. Phishing phone call practices. So the caller claims to be a company you do business with. FBI, IRS, Apple, Amazon, whatever. If they're calling you, they're telling you something is up. You've been charged for something. You have been specifically selected for something. You've won a prize. Your subscription warranty is expiring. You need to make an immediate decision. You found a virus on your computer. Just suspicious, just something. They shouldn't usually be calling you. So that should set off alarms already. The things you have to ask yourself, well, first of all, you can always say, let me get a number and call you back. If they don't give it to you, that's kind of like the giveaway. If they do, just take the number for now, just hang up. Then you have to ask yourself, do I know this person? Every time something comes up that requires some sensitive information, red flags should go up. That's the basic rule. And you have to slow down. If it's asking for sensitive information and you're still concerned, call the contact through a number you confirmed visiting the real site, not through the email that you received or the call, but log into the vendor's actual website. Check your credit card for any charges if they are saying that you've been charged for something. Never use any links that they give you. Is it asking me to call or purchase or share my private information? Again, private information, never. What are the similarities? Usually the link, when you hover over it, it tells you if it's real or not. I still wouldn't use the link. If you're not sure, just go to the site. It will ask you for some sensitive information, which again is a red flag. Sense of urgency, very common. Or they tell you won some prize. Wants you to log into a site. Sender's address is generic, has a missing character, such as Amazon with an O missing, or they can put a 0 instead of an O, or not listed at all, so you don't see the actual email address. Spelling errors in the email. So if you have a friend who's sending you email, or it's some business associate you're dealing with, there might be an extra D in their domain name or in their email name. Don't ever rush. if something happens and you feel uncomfortable, they're asking for private information, that's a sign to slow down. Always slow down when you're not sure. They count on you rushing. Attention to detail, email address, true link. Use vendor apps to monitor the purchases. If you have a bank app on your phone or something, use that, or log into the website on a safe computer. Open a new browser window and go to the site. You can open a new tab. Set up email alerts for the charge. By saying open up a new tab, I mean don't use a link you might have clicked on already. Set up an email alert for charges. This is really important, and I highly advise anyone who does this review to do it. Get alerts via text, email. Just set up alerts for yourself so you know what's going on. Take extra steps in contacting the right people through the verified phone numbers. This is important. Have the phone numbers of the vendors you're dealing with, someone there that you can talk to. Don't answer unrecognized numbers if you can, and let them go to voicemail. New phones now have the capability of just allowing it to ring when someone is in your contacts. I love that feature. Anybody else goes into voicemail, and I can check the voicemail separately, and I get tons daily. No reply at domain.com is the most likely phishing email. Whenever you see a no reply asking you to do something sensitive, that's a dead giveaway. Do not provide sensitive information by text to unverified numbers. Don't even reply to unknown texts. This part is more geared towards our clients. If you do receive something and you're not sure, please forward it to us as an attachment. Don't forward the email itself, but forward it as an attachment. And you can always go to the email more, forward as attachment, and send it to our support email address. Emails can be filtered before they get to you and scanned for harmful. So basically, we have scanning features enabled on our email. We have link protections on for some clients. We offer that feature. Microsoft itself or Google does that for you too, but we have enhanced ones. With our set of rules for our clients, we have stripping of certain attachments. So the email might get you, but the attachment is stripped if it's dangerous. We have web filtering at many of our clients where it's an enhanced web filtering on top of the ones that the browsers might offer. We have impersonation proof, proofing, so that if someone fakes your name, it puts a little banner on the email telling you, hey, this came from outside of the office, which basically is telling you if they're sending from inside the office, why is it saying it's coming from outside of the office? I don't want to make anybody too anxious. You just have to be alert. The trick here is if someone asks for something personal, money transfers, phone, social security number, credit card numbers, anything that's too sensitive, that should be, red flags should go up, and you need to slow down. Reach out to support. That's what we're here for. Just ask us, hey, I got this. What do you think? This is the email. Then we can track it and find out more about it. Always be better safe than sorry. No one is asking you to rush to pay a bill within that minute. If you have something actually needs to be rushed, you already know about it. Increase your own personal protection through complex passwords. That's really important. And two-factor authentication. You have to have two-factor authentication for everything these days. You can't go without it. It's not perfect, but it's such a great protection. Security is good at the weakest point. A user being tricked to sharing their password is a major point of weakness. So let's say someone gets access to your email or your files, and you have access to other files, so they get access to it. So it's very important to be practicing these traits. This is not just the company's security, it's your own security too, because they can take advantage of that to then get access to other things. If you have any questions, you can email our support. The tricks will change. All you have to do is just slow down when you see something that seems suspicious and asking for too much information, or something you didn't do that requires your attention. Just slow down as soon as you see something like that. And that should protect you pretty well, provided you also have done your due diligence and protected yourself through good complex passwords and two-factor authentication. This completes our phishing awareness training. Thank you for watching.